Hello friends, welcome back. So in this video lecture, let us try to understand dynamic programming concept with the help of one example. So friends, already we have discussed one example practical case of a plant where three units were given and the units were given with their cost characteristics. So we had obtained the combinations for earlier cases here. So let us try to use the same in order to obtain the combination here. So it is the priority list method that we had done for this particular example. Okay, so here three units are given. Okay, and those three units are having their own cost characteristics. Now let me just take the same example here because it will be easier for us to understand the whatever concept we are using here for this case also. Okay, so this is the given you can say case. So suppose in a plant we have the three units with specifications as given here. So unit 1 is having a cost characteristics given like this, and then there is a minimum and maximum you can say capacity of the unit 1. Similarly for unit 2, cost characteristics is given, then the minimum and maximum capacity is given. Then unit 3 also same concept, same content is given, that is the cost characteristics as well as the minimum and maximum capacities. So now here what we are going to understand is we are going to take one particular demand value, and after that we are going to increment that demand by a uniform value. So let us say that value is 50 megawatt. We are going to add 50 megawatt for you can say each increment in the this one increase in the demand. Okay, so now here first of all whatever cost characteristics equations are given, so in that cost characteristics equation, so this totally is having three terms. So one is this fixed value, okay, fixed component which is a constant value, and then there are component of p1 and p1 square likewise for the unit 2 fixed component and this variables, and also for the unit 3. So now here when we are going to talk about the dynamic programming, so this constant value is going to remain same in all the combinations. So whatever cost new characteristics will come, so this will be added in that as it is. So that means it is not going to change in any way. So therefore let us neglect this increment sorry this fixed cost components, and let us only use the variable cost components here, which are we can say function of the power. Okay, so whatever load is increased, so that we need to substitute here. So because of that only there will be change in this cost value. So this fixed will remain always fixed independent of this whatever we are going to substitute here. So therefore whatever characteristics those will get here, let me just write them once again here. So without the that increment sorry that fixed components here. So one second. So f1, okay, so f1 equal to 7.1 p1 plus 0.00141 p1 square. Okay, and f2 is 7.8 p2 plus 0.00195 p2 square. So only these we can say things are required here for us, and let us just try to understand with the help of only two. So whatever characteristics we get, so that third unit can be added to that. So if you understand for these two units, automatically it can be means repeated for the third unit also. Okay, so here the minimum for this is p minimum equal to 160 megawatt, and p max is I think it is 600 megawatt. Okay, similarly here p minimum is 100 megawatt and p max is 450 megawatt. Okay, so now let us consider one particular demand here, load value. So suppose the pd is 500 megawatt. Okay, so let us try to find the cost here. F1 um, F1 of 500, we'll take that load as 500 here, and let us just calculate only with the help of first unit, because first unit is capable of supplying whether it is economical or not. Let us try to find. So let us substitute the value here, 500 megawatt in place of that P. So 7.1 into 500 plus 0.00141 into 500 square. So simplification of this will give us 3902 rupees, okay, per megawatt hour. Okay, so that is what we are going to get. Okay, so now instead of using the single unit, let us use the second unit as well, since second unit is having minimum of 100 megawatts, so we need to at least has minimum of 100 megawatts, so we need to at least use 100 megawatt in the second unit when we want to combine. Okay, so now here what will happen, automatically out of 500, F1 will be using 400 and F2 will be using that 100. Okay, so therefore when we add the two values, so let us try to write here whatever after multiplication we'll get here. In case of F2 100, we have to substitute 100 in place of this P2 value here, so whatever value we get, so that we have to write, and F1 400 whatever we get, that we have to write. So here already I have calculated to save the time, so I'll just substitute those values. So for the F1 of 400, first term will become 2800 and sorry 2840, then P1 square term will become 225.6, then P2 term will become 780 and P2 squared will become 19.5. So totally when we add this, we get 3865. Okay, so this comparatively is smaller. Okay, so compared to 3902, again we are using the same 500 value, but here now we are using the combination of the two. Okay, we are not using the single unit. Okay, so we got 365. This is by using say second unit is loaded to 100 and first unit is still loaded to 450. Now what we are going to do, we are going to reduce the first unit's load and increase the second unit's load. So here I will write say 350 plus F2 of 150. So simplification of this, what I'm going to get, instead of 350, let us say we are going to just change a little bit here, 380 and F2 of 20. So it will be clear from this itself, so need not go up to that particular higher value, so little bit will change. So here first term will get 2698 plus the second term will be 203.6 plus for the P2 term 936 plus 28.08. So solving this we get 3865.68. okay, so this is what we gonna get. Okay, so next similarly F1 of, here we are going to use 360 in the first unit and 140 in the second unit. Okay, so for that we get 2256 plus 182.7 plus 1092 plus 38.2. okay, so this value will be 3868. So now what we observe here is that, so most economical combination, can be obtained by just comparing the whatever costs we are getting here for the various combinations. So what we observe is that, so this particular is the smallest, okay, smallest of all the four values. So when it is smallest, so when the second unit is loaded minimum and the first is loaded to say 400 megawatt. So for 500 megawatt we get for a combination of this one, F1 400 and F2 100. So that is the most economic combination. So other combinations are you can say rejected, and only that combination is used. Okay, so here this combination is rejected, this combination is rejected, and individual is also rejected. Only this combination is selected here. This is the most economic combination. Okay, so likewise now we are going to increase the load by another 50 megawatt, and we are going to check the same. Okay, so now let us just try to write something for this particular case here. Okay, so therefore for a load of 500 megawatt, the load commitment on unit 1 is 400 megawatt, and that on unit 2 is 100 megawatt. Okay, which gives minimum cost, Okay, so any other combination gives higher cost. So this combination is used for the 500 megawatt load. Okay, so next, increase load by 50 megawatt to PD equal to 550 megawatt. Okay, so now let us use the same steps here. So here again F1 of 550 first we'll add, we'll try to obtain. So for this, when we substitute this 550 in that cost equation, so first term will be 3905 and the second term will be 426.5, so the total value will be 433.1.5. okay, and if we use, you can say, combination here, so let us reduce it by 100 and take the second unit and load it to minimum capacity of 100. So then the values will be plus 285.5 plus 780 plus 19.5. So this value will become 4280. Okay, similarly let us find 400 plus F2 of 150. So here it is going to be 2840 plus 225.6 plus 1170 plus 43.8, and solving this we will get 4279. okay, and then again let us reduce by 15 first unit and increase 50 by in the second unit. So this value will be 2485 plus 172.7 plus 1560 plus 78. okay, so this value will come to 4295. so now again here from these calculations we can go on doing this, but we'll get idea what is happening here. So when we are using only first unit, okay, so in that case what is happening here, when we are using the first unit, so here this value is 4331.5, but when we are using the second unit also in combination, then what the value is 4280 for 450 and 100. Then what we did, we decreased the load on the first unit by 50 megawatt and we made only 400 megawatt on the first unit, and we increased 50 megawatt on the second unit to make it 150 megawatt. So when we calculated the cost of this particular value, what we got is 4279. And next, when we increased load further, so we got means increased load on the second unit and decreased load on the first unit, we got 40 to 95. So if you compare all these four values, so whichever is smaller here, which one is smaller do you think? So obviously this value is smaller. So we find from this particular analysis is that, so loading on the unit 1 should be 400 megawatt and loading on the second unit should be 150 megawatt if the total demand is 550 megawatt. So this combination is going to give us the you can say minimum cost. So therefore F1 400 and F2 150 for 550. So like this we have to keep on increasing the load value by 50 megawatt and we will be getting the table here. So when we have the PD value and when we have this say I'll just write here um, P1 and P2, just simply write here. So when we took 500, so what is the most economic combination? P1 400, P2 100. So when we did 550, so most economic combination is 400 on P1 and 150 on P2. Okay, so similarly when we have 600 so on, so whatever maximum capacity we can obtain by using the 3 units. So already when we get this particular case, so we are going to use this case whatever cost equation we have for a particular, so this will be the cost equation for 500. Okay, so when we want to use that third unit, so we have to make use of the third unit equation also in the combination to determine the most economic case here. Okay, so right now that P3 is you can say 0 0, it is not even operated because the maximum load is being sufficed by this. So but when the load is larger than the total value, say when it is more than 1050 megawatt or say 1100 megawatt, so in that case this unit will also be loaded here. Okay, so whatever most economic combination we get, so that we are going to go on adding here. So like this we can get the unit commitment table for the different loading with the help of this dynamic programming concept. Okay, so this will be followed for as many units are present in the particular plant, you can say. Okay. Okay, so I hope you understood the this particular concept of dynamic programming with the help of this example here. Okay, so you just need to go through the theoretical content once and need to go through this example, so to understand in clear whatever the unit commitment problem will be there, how to solve that problem and obtain the most economic combination. Okay, so I'll see you with the next video wherein we will be discussing about say the second unit, which is the load flow analysis. Okay, so till then, happy learning and thank you.